Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining, watching and listening. My name is Laylee. I'm one of the teachers of the Yoga One in Abu Dhabi. Today I will be covering one of the advanced arm balances called Pincha Flow, which means peacock feather. The name of the pose comes from the final shape of the body that is curved and it looks like a feather. I will give you more details once we get in there, but for now, we're going to start warming up the body into a nice juicy flow, activating the muscles that we need for our final asana. And let's get started. We will be starting from the top of the mat on the standing Tadasana pose. Place your feet into the hip width apart and come and stand tall. Start spreading your 10 toes wide apart to ground the four corners of the feet down. Lift the arches of the leg up, tucking the glutes slightly under, knitting the front ribs in through one another, releasing your hands to the side. Close your eyes for a moment and take a few deep breaths. Just to find your center right in here, finding this present moment to arousing your consciousness for your practice. Let's start taking 3 cleansing yogic breaths together. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhaling all the way from the nose. Take a deep inhale through your nose, maybe puffing up your belly this time. A long exhale, maybe up to the 7 count to let that completely go. And on the last round, maybe accelerating through that inhale. This time, open your mouth, let it go. Blink your eyes open. Take a nice gentle Buddha smile onto the lips and let's have fun. With the inhale, sweeping the arms up over the head, gaze between the palms as they touch. With the exhale, swan dive, fall forward into your Uttanasana. Bend the knee, grab the opposite elbow, let your belly to rest onto your thigh, and try to really let the neck go and relaxing through the crown of your head. Maybe moving side to side by paddling your knees. Letting all the blood to flow back into the top of the body, just effortlessly with a soft, gentle breath. Releasing your hands onto the floor, pressing into your fingertips. Find length through the back of the legs. Lift the spine nice and tall. And then folding back into that Uttanasana. Shift the weight into your left foot. Pick up your right leg back. Find a transition towards that warrior 3. Inner thighs in, squeezing towards one another. And lower the right toes in the way back of your mat. Lower the right knee down. Keep the right toes tucked under for this first one. Place the hands into the hips. Make the pelvis nicely squared out. Lift the arms through the back of the ribs. Take a breath, reaching up through the fingertips. Start pulling your left heel back. Your right arm tries to reach to the sky and slowly lower your left hand down. It doesn't have to touch the floor, just as much as you find length through the right side of the body. Take an inhale, maybe rolling that right shoulders back, breathing into the right ribs. With the exhale, fold it deeper. Bringing your left arm back into the center, find length. Maybe sinking the hips deeper a little bit, keeping your right glute nicely active so you're not crunching into that lower back. Lowering your hands down. Pivot your right knee further away. Find about hip width apart between the right knee and the left heel and slide through that left heel. Flex your left foot towards the ceiling, so almost your second toe is pointing up, keeping inner thighs in through one another. Find length through that lower back inhale. With the exhale, fold in between your thighs into your Ardha Hanumanasana. I like to place my hands flat into the mat. That gives me more power to push the floor away and folding deeper into the back of the leg. So if you cannot touch the floor, you can elevate the floor, placing 2 books or water bottle underneath your hands. Just be creative. Pause for another breath here. Inhale. And the exhale. Step into that left foot. Bring your hands into the top of the mat, maybe onto the fingertips. We don't really get the chance to strengthen those guys up. And pick up your right knee off the floor. Hold the shoulders back, finding length through the front right side of the hip. In breath. And as the out breath, placing your hands down, chin comes to the chest, push the floor away and step your left foot back into your downward facing dog. Wrapping your forearms here in through one another. Feeling the pressing of the fingertips into the mat, like you're pulling the mat towards the back. Let the neck to fold long and tall in between the upper arms. Shift the weight to the back of the heels, press into the back of the heart, lifting the tailbones higher. Practicing our first vinyasa, we're going to take it easy for the first one. Come onto the ball of the feet, tuck the hips under, wave the spine, coming to the tall plank, Flokasana. Looking forward, keeping the protraction into the back of the heart, lifting that the front ribs and the belly in through one another. Last but not least, toes and heels are in one line. I'm going to hold you in here for another breath. Sweetness in your eyes. Balancing to the breath. That's the hard part, right? And lower your knees down. Coming into your low push-up, firming the elbows in through one another, open your chest and lie down all the way into your belly. Bring your feet into the hip width apart, press into the top of the feet. Feel the activation through the back of the leg and place your hands palms facing down towards the side of the thigh. With the inhale, use the power of the legs to lift the chin, lift the shoulders and the chest up. Keep pressing into your hands, hover the right leg, hover the left leg up. Now, if you're ready, right hand goes up, left hand falls back. Shoulder blades down and in towards your hip. Back of the neck nice and tall. Take a breath. And exhale. Placing your hands down, going into that extended active child pose. And push your hips back, coming into your downward facing dog. Pause for a breath. Inhale. And the exhale. Reach the right leg all the way up and back. I'm going to bend the knee on this one, lift the knee to the sky, feel the activation of the right glute, and go ahead, curl the hips open. Keeping your palms stable, pressing equally into the mat, but it's okay if that right shoulder lifts. Find a little bit of length through the right side of the torso. Grounding the left heel. And then square off the shoulders, come back into the center, reach through the right heel, coming back into that three-legged dog. Draw the right knee in towards your chest, move the shoulders beyond the wrist, lift the hips nice and high, and step the right foot in between your thumbs. Bend into that front knee, move your fingertips into the top of the mat and finding your runner's lunge. And we're going to bounce a little bit here, just finding that left hip opening up, soft and gentle. We're going to take 3 rounds of the runners to pyramid pose. With the inhale, looking forward, hold the shoulders back. With the exhale, push into that right heel, straightening your both knees and folding in between the thighs. Option to dorsiflex this right toe towards your chest. Keep the inner thighs in through one another so you can cascade the heart deeper into that right knee. Bend the knee, coming into the runner's lunge, big inhale. And the exhale, moving back into that pyramid, grounding the left heel down. Breathe in, stepping into the runners. Breathe out, pyramid pose. Maybe pause for a breath here. Say hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to your hamstring. Give it some love. My right side is a lot tighter than my left. I don't even run, I don't know why. Step into that front foot, walking your hands forward, and step your left foot to meet the right. With the inhale, find a flat spine halfway. With the exhale, fold deep into your Uttanasana. This time we're going to activate our quadricep, our thighs. I want you to make sure that your feet are hip width apart. That would be 2 fists away from one another. Grabbing the outside of your ankles, bending your knee, and start with pressing your heart on top of your knees. Dropping your head down. Shift the weight into the ball of the foot, and then look down towards your knees and start extending your knees up. Look into your thighs and start squeezing your thigh bones up through your hips. So you should be able to see your kneecaps are lifted. Now from here, open your elbows to the side. Keep moving the weights towards your toes and then press your heart down. Making sure that your thighs and your hamstring are nicely squeezed and activated. So we're using the strength of the muscle to lengthen it. Stability first before moving it towards deeper end range. Going to take another deep breath. If you have space, push your shins towards your heart. And slowly release. Placing your hands down, inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, slight bend to the knee, rooting to rise, sweep the arms up over the head, hands to the heart, samastihiti. So the right side is a little bit taller, right? Let's fix that on the left. With the inhale, sweeping the arms up, finding your Urdhva Hastasana. With the exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Planting your hands down, stepping your left foot back, lower your left knee down into the ground. Keeping the left toes tucked, press into that back shin bone so your left glute is nicely active, sweeping the arms up over the head, Anjaneyasana. Lifting up through the back of the ribs, sinking deep in through the hips. Lowering your right hands down, maybe gaze towards the floor, and reaching up and over towards the left fingertips. So make sure you're not collapsing forward or leaning too much back. You want to keep the right shoulders aligned with the right hips. And that midline is nicely tightening up. Breathe in. Breathe out, meet the arms up to the sky. Placing your hands down, moving towards Ardha Hanumanasana. Pivoting your left knee back, find hip width apart between the right and the left. Flex the right toes up through the ceiling. So if your hips is into your vision, make sure it's nicely squared out. So hug the right hip back, shoot the left hip forward. Inhale, find a tall spine. Exhale, fold in between your thighs. Planting your hands, I really like that. It kind of gives me that down dog sensation to power up the back of my spine so I can fold deeper. So if you want to make this about your hamstring, you need to pretty much sure that you have a flat spine. So if you're somewhere here today, and that's okay. Just making sure that you're squeezing and grounding, finding that stagnation towards that right foot so you're not dropping all your weight into that knee joint. Stepping into that front foot, walk your hands to the top of the mat, fire the left foot up, find your runner's lunge, inhale. And then planting your hands down, chin to the chest, push the floor away, step your right foot back into your downward facing dog. Pause for a breath. Come onto your toes. Belly in, wave the spine, high plank. Hold it in here for 5, warming up your core. Feel like splitting the mat into 2, broadening your shoulder blades and broadening your collarbone. Sweetness in your eyes, not this. 3, I'm really bad in counting, I know that. Pull the hands towards the toes, toes towards the hands, 2. 1, if you're ready for your Chaturanga, go ahead. Shift forward, opening up your chest, low push-ups. And go ahead, take a cobra or medium cobra all the way into your Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Wrapping your elbows, power up the back of the leg, chin up towards the ceiling or not. You can keep the back of the neck nice and relaxed. Chin to the chest, push back into the down dog. Finding your breath. Bending your knee here, come onto the ball of the feet. Press the back of the heart to poke your tailbones up and back. Now go ahead and ground your heel down. Pause for a breath. And exhale. Reach the left leg all the way up and back, bend the knee. Lift the knee to the sky. Keep your left toes active and curl the hips open. Press the 50-50 equal weight into the right palms and the left, grounding the right heel, and go ahead and stretch towards the side. Draw the knee back into the center, turn back into that three-legged dog. Knee comes to the chest, shoulder beyond the wrist, chin forward. Gently step the foot in between your thumbs. Walk your hands forward, but hold the shoulders back so your torso is kind of into a back bend. Inhale, runner's lunge. Let that left knee to go beyond the toes. With the exhale, move into that pyramid pose. If you need to adjust your hands more towards underneath your shoulders, go ahead, grounding the right heel. Dorsiflexing your left foot or push the left foot down like you're pressing into the gas pedal. Again, check into the hips, shoot the left hip back. Inhale, bend the knee, runner's lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. One more time. Inhale, bend into that front knee. Fill the length through the right hip. Exhale into that pyramid pose. Ground the back heel. Pause for a breath. Maybe a length for the lower back, even the head. Exhale, fold deep. Bend into the front knee, runner's lunge. Walk the hands forward. Meet the right foot next to the left. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana. Bending your knee and coming into your Utkatasana chair pose. Sweeping the arms up over your head. Moving your shin bones back so you can see all your 10 toes. Feel like you're isometrically pulling your mat away from one another. Feeling the outer hip starts turning on. With the inhale, sweeping the arms up, let's reset the spine. Bending your elbows, lifting the heart, finding the cat toes. Poke your tailbone out. With the exhale, tucking the tailbone back. Bringing your forearms together, squeezing the palms and the elbows in and fold deep. 2 more of that. Inhale, opening up your arms, cactus the arms, lift the tailbone. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, rounding the spine, empty the lung all the way. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. This time, clasping your thumbs, spread all your other 8 fingers, reaching the arms up and over, squeezing your bum, and find your own degree of the back bend. Breathe in. Breathe out, come back to the center, hands to the side. So fun times is over, let's get serious here. With the inhale, sweeping the arms up, sit back onto your chair. Go back into that isometrically pulling the feet away from one another. Breathe in. Breathe out, fold forward into Uttanasana. Breathe in, finding a flat back. Shift the weight into your right foot and step your left foot back. We're going to move into a reverse warrior. Spinning the back heel down. Find the front heel to the back arch, front knee bend. Shoot the right arms up to the sky, over your head. Planting your hands behind your waist, a little bit of shoulder openness. Bending into that front knee a little bit deeper. So maybe gaze towards that front knee. Make sure it's not closing back down. You can even give yourself a nice self-adjustment by pulling your right thigh bones back and in. And then I like to gaze into my back foot as a final stretch in towards my neck. Breathe in here. Maybe bending into that front knee a little bit deeper. As you breathe out, straightening your front foot. Plant your hands into the left hip and start pivoting your left foot a little closer to the right. Reach your right palms over, opening up your chest, and start reaching through your right hand. Reach and reach and reach. Plant your right hands down on the floor, grab a block inside of your shin bones, anywhere except of your knees pretty much. Rolling the right hips up and finding your Trikonasana. So here you want to find length through the right inner thigh. Feeling the chin and the sternum is parallel towards one another. And then once you have that, go ahead and spiral those ribs onto the ceiling. Now here, if you can, reaching your left arms over your ear and finding your Utthita Hasta Trikonasana, to get more length through that left side. Breathe in. Breathe out, maybe chest more open, hips moves back. Sorry, the other side, hips moves forward, chest is leaning back. Plant your left hand onto your hips, look towards the top of the mat, shift the weight into that right foot, fingertips touches the floor, get light into that left leg, and find your Ardha Chandrasana. Stacking your hips and the shoulders in one line. I want you to find your Chapasana here. Bending into that left knee, grab the outside of the left foot. So when we come to half of your body in a Chapasana pose is into the back bend, right? So we don't want to really externally opening up that knee. Maybe if you can gaze towards the back, it might fall onto your face, but that's okay. Look into your left knee and make sure your left knee and the hips are in one line. And once you have that, press into your hands, roll the left shoulders back, and finding your Chapasana pose. To find more balance here, gaze down. If you feel that you can't really straightening that standing leg, you can bend it, that's fine, that comes in time. Take another breath. With the exhale, release that top leg out, gracefully step it down. A gentle transition towards your warrior two, just for a breath. And then we'll move the arms down, step it back into your downward facing dog. Once you're in the downward facing dog, we're going to roll forward into the plank, but not a usual plank. Lower into your forearms, right hand and the left hand. If your shoulders are tight, you can interlace your hand. Otherwise, just plant your palms flat and finding your forearm plank. Elbows strictly underneath your shoulders. Feel that isometric length by pulling the hands away from one another. Hips and shoulders are in one line. And most importantly, make sure that you're not dropping all the weight into the hands. Feet and hands both pushing equally into the floor. Let's go for 5. Sweetness in the eyes. 4. Belly lifts. Try this with talking. 3, 2, 1. Let's just make that fast. Coming down into your Shalabhasana. This time, interlace your hand at the base of the spine. Squeeze your palms. Push into your heels. Hover the legs, shoulders back, chest open. Take a breath. Use the power of the arms to lift the heart even more. And lower back down. Push back into your downward facing dog. Pressing to the heels, take a breath in. As the breath out, start walking your feet towards the top of the mat, one at a time. Try your best to keep your knee nice and straight. If you need to lift your palms, go ahead. Inhale, finding a flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Bending the knee, sit back into Utkatasana, chair pose. Breathe in, active chair pose. Breathe out, sit deeper. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, a flat back. Shift the weight into that left foot, pick up your right leg, reach it back. Lower the right toes down. Spin the back heel down, 90 degrees. Reverse your warrior. Right hand goes back around the waist to open up the shoulders. Left arm shoot the sky. Bend into that front knee, gazing back, gazing forward, your choice. A little bit of self-adjustment from our hip opener. Inhale here. Keep that right thigh bones pressing into the hamstring to give you more space for that front hip to extend, to open, to create space. Slowly straightening that front foot, pivot the back foot forward. Right hand comes into the hip. Sorry, my body's towards you this time. Grounding this right hip down. Push into the both toes, reaching your left arm forward. Find length through the side of the torso. Keep going until you reach your max, planting your hands down. Right arm goes up. Once again, hips moves forward and chest is leaning back. Equally pressing into that front foot and the back. Inhale, maybe Utthita Hasta Trikonasana by finding extension. All the way from the right hip through the right pinky edge of the hands. Lower down, gaze down, right hands to the hips for more stability, finding your Ardha Chandrasana. Pointing your toes towards the side of the wall, window, whatever you got there. Bending into the knee and grab the foot from the outside. Look into the knee, make the knee and the hips in, woo, lost the balance. Knee and hip. And if you're like me, you don't really have much balance there, just keep the standing legs a little bit bent. Bend into the knee and opening the hip, rolling the right shoulders back, lifting the heart open. Bringing the heels maybe closer by kicking the legs back. Gently release your Chapasana, gaze down and gracefully step into that wide-legged warrior two. Ooh. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower your hands down, placing your hands down, step it into your downward facing dog. Come onto your knees. So let's caramelize those shoulders a little bit, huh? It's gonna be fun. This is what I call it Serratus Pushup. So Serratus is this muscles onto the side of the torso. These are the main muscles that you need them when you go into that forearm balances or most of the inversions. You need them to be pretty much activated, but not only that, also lengthening through those, as well as connecting them towards your forearms, and that gives you like hold that shoulder stability to make you more confident when you come into the pose. So placing your hands, your elbows shoulder width apart. Crucial point here, elbows and shoulders are in one line. Energy still moves through the fingertips, so tip of the fingers turning white. And you're gonna find your Dolphin Pose. Walking your feet forward. If your hamstring is tight, feel free to bend the knee. So walk as much as your feet allowing you to. Then lift your gaze in between your wrists. Make sure you're powering your arms nice and strong, keeping the back of the shoulders protracted, core tight. And then simultaneously, you're going to lift your forearms up and then lowering down, up and down. So if that's not available to you, you can do the step up. So one at a time. It's actually harder for me, but up to you. Finding that Dolphin Pose, right arm, left arm. Right? And then, or simultaneously. So we're gonna do this for 5 more. For 4, try not to lose the integration towards the back of the shoulders, not collapsing forward. For 2. And 1. Nice. I mean, I did it nice. I don't know how you guys did it. Sit back onto your hips. So let's warm up your core, coming into everybody's favorite pose, Navasana, not so much. Lift up your shin bones off the floor. You can grab your hamstring to start with. Draw the hamstring in towards one another. Bring your arms also parallel to the floor. Take an inhale. With the exhale, draw your navel in. Knit your ribs in and up. Take a breath to prepare. Exhale, go into the half boat. Pointing your toes, reaching through the heels. Keeping the hamstring nice and tight. Try to just do a check-in here. Make sure that your lower back is not lifted off the floor. If it is, you need to rise your legs a little bit higher. So keeping that midline quite tight, pressing to the ground, shoulder blades off. Shaking is really great. Smiling really helps here. We're gonna go for 5. Check those feet flexors. 4. Try this with talking. 3. 2. And 1. Knees into the chest. A brief halasana to stretch the back of the leg. And come back, crossing your ankles. A bonus into a vinyasa. Hop it back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, pose onto this up dog. And exhale, move back into your down dog. Lower into your knees. Let's open your shoulders before we move on into the final pose. I have free to go shoulder openers that really help me. The first one, bring your elbows and your palms together. Your palms are into the prayer but facing up. So you want to keep your pinkies and your wrists and the elbows together all the way through. Walk your knees slightly behind your hips. And move the hips back like you want to go into the puppy pose. If this is enough for you, just to stay here. If you want more, use your forehead like a prop to push your elbows back a little deeper. Just softness into your breath. Keep opening your palms. One more deep breath. And the exhale. Come forward. Next one is to open up your rotator cuff muscles. Please be very mindful here. Most of us might be feeling strong sensation, or lots of people, they go through lots of injury through those rotator cuff, super sensitive muscles. Come onto your fingertips and place your elbows down. Same, you're still into that poppy pose, poppy shape. Walking your feet back and gently move your hips back. So the goal is not to lift your fingers over the elbows, so you don't want to go that far. Take 3 more Ujjayi breaths. Moving forward, last but not least, just to stretch the side of the torso, the serratus muscle. The edge of the pinky of your right hand presses into the mat like you want to saw your mat. Place your left hand like you want to do a push-ups. Moving your hips back and melt your hearts down, feeling the stretch towards the lats, towards the serratus, all the way towards your armpit, and dropping your head down. Keeping that right finger, a pinky finger grounded, so you can feel the peeling. And changing sides, right hand into halfway push-up, left pinky blade edge of the hands presses down, dropping your forehead. Keep rolling the shoulders back. If you want more, moving your hips back a little bit, especially your left side. If you need to stretch more into your shoulder, you can always pause the video and stay a little longer. And coming all the way up. So I guess we're all set. Let's nail it. So I'm going to turn towards the front side so you can see the setup, the form and the foundation of the arms and the elbows for the Pincha Mayurasana. So placing your hands right into the front, fingertips wide apart, turn the tip of the fingers into the wide, and rolling your forearms down. Crucial point, once again, your elbows and your shoulders should be in one line. And then turning back into that profile so you can see the pose better. Place the foundation of the pose, which is your hand, that's all you got. And super important, there is something beneath you, underneath you, called heart floor. So make sure that you're not collapsing forward, yeah? Not to miss the rest of this video with me. So keeping your hands super strongly here. All what we did was to strengthen up here, and I'm going to take you through the stages. You don't have to rush in at all for this, for getting this shape all done into that final expression of it. Coming into the Dolphin Pose. Shoulders, elbows, once again, check it in. Stage 1, bringing your feet together. Walk your feet as far as your hamstring allows. So as soon as we walk the feet forward, the lower body gets light, the upper body gets heavy. So the tendency is to collapse. Do not let that happen. Push the floor away, keeping the arms nicely active. Left leg down, right foot goes up, hips squares out, come onto the ball of the left foot, and find this counter energy to fight against the gravity. Keep lifting, keep pressing the ground away. That is a stage 1. If you are here today, that's perfect, building up your strength. Okay, stage 2. Coming into that dolphin shape. Pressing the floor away, lifting the hips high, core nice and tight. Walk your feet as close as possible. Press to the tip of the elbow to lift the shoulder heads up, gazing between your index finger. Reaching your right leg all the way up, scissor in through the inner thigh. Leaning forward, find the strength through your arms, and slowly maybe kicking up and hover the left foot. And then changing side. Left leg up, reach it up. Inner thighs together, lean forward, but don't collapse. Press to the tip of the elbows, lift, and hover. And coming back. So if you want to practice against the wall, where you're placing your hands is very important. So imagine if the edge of my mat is the wall, you want your fingertips to almost touch the wall. So that's how close you're gonna go, and then you're placing your forearms down. So if that hopping is going to give you some air to breathe up there, you can catch the wall for a quick moment and come back down towards it. Perfect, go for it. So ready for the final stage, stage 3. Stage 3, that's the advanced version. Coming into that dolphin pose, placing your forearms, make sure they are shoulder width apart. So a lot of times as soon as we go to the dolphin, even before kicking up, the hands comes close to one another and the elbows are flaring out. And that is usually due to tight shoulders or lack of strength. So we need to build those through that before we are ready in the middle of the room to kick up. Come back to the dolphin. So less talking for me. Walking your feet forward, your favorite leg goes up, inner thighs together, so try not to fling the hips open. Lean and shift forward, gaze in between the wrists. And next try. Keep pressing the ground away. Reaching up through your toes, engaging your butt. If you want the final stage of the pose, dropping your gaze down. And lower. Please, if you're new to this, use the wall space. One more thing, a lot of time when you're inversions, usually most of them, are jerky and heavy. That is due to tight hamstring. So make sure you give a nice good stretch towards your hamstring before you kick up so you can find that scissor leg lifting. Try all the variations. Use the wall, use a partner if you want to, and keep practicing, and that is the only way. Let's stretch your shoulders before we finish up this class. Bring your right hand to the side, thumbs facing up. Place your hands between your shoulders. You can use the left hand to rise the palms a little bit higher. And then my right shoulder is quite tight. I pretty much need to press this one down. Rolling the right shoulder, heads back. Grab the side of your ear and turning your head towards the opposite side. So you don't have to really pull the head out. You don't want to take the head off your body. You just want to burst some weight into this to feel the stretch and the length. Keep rolling the shoulders back, finding the space. Releasing down. The other side, left hand here. Back of the hands in between the shoulder blades, scooch it up. Maybe using your right hand to help to rise it even a little bit higher, closer towards your neck. Right arm goes up. Grab side of the ear, back side of the head, dropping your head down. Rolling the shoulders back. A little bit of pressing into the back of the hands towards the shoulders. That gives you more space to open up. Placing your hands down. We're going to take an Ardha Matsyendrasana just to bring the spine back from this extension and flexion into that neutral. Right knee goes on top, foot presses down, sweep the arms up over. Back of the left elbow presses against the right knee. With the inhale, find length. With the exhale, twist over towards the right shoulder. So once again, use this as an opportunity to open your shoulders more. So externally rotate that right top of the shoulders out. Inhale, length. Exhale, twist deeper. Coming back to the center and changing sides. Left foot on top of the right, sweeping the arms up, inhale. Back of the right hand presses against the knee, shoulders back. Find a cobra into the front of the chest, inhale, length. Exhale, revolve your heart open to the side. Breathe in to grow taller. Breathe out, twist the back of your core. Coming back into the center, you can finish this practice by taking a nice few minutes of Shavasana or sitting into that meditation. You can throw this practice in between any other practices if you need more warm-up, if you need more flow to get into the pose, or just use that peak pose in between any sequencing that you wish to take. Thanks a lot for joining me today. Throw us comments, any questions that you got, and we will get back to you. Thanks a lot. Stay bendy and enjoy your practice. Be safe, be healthy, stay magical. Namaste.